I took Myron Golden's Make More Offers Challenge 3 months ago. It is 3 months later, so I wanted to give an update. I did do an initial video where I shared all of the things that happened from the time that I took the challenge until the point that I filmed that video, which was kind of like the first update. I just want to give a few stats first, and then I want to give y'all the 2 things that I think really helped to catapult me to this point, the 2 things that I learned from that challenge. One of them was a very, very indirect nugget, and I think if you weren't paying attention, you would have missed it, but I'm going to tell y'all anyway. So here are the stats that I had. Before taking Make More Offers Challenge, I had 126,000 followers on TikTok. I now have 190,000. This is 3 months later. At the time of my first update video, I had picked up 30,000 followers, and that was less than a month later. On YouTube, and I'm going to clarify, this is my primary YouTube channel. This channel that I'm posting on, this is not my primary YouTube channel. I only post on here regarding social media, and that's for the benefit of myself having like a tracker, but also anybody else that wants to grow and learn and not necessarily pay anything. I'm just giving you my firsthand experience. Some of it is blueprint, some of it you'll have to tweak it to fit yourself. But this is not the channel that I'm talking about, and I'm sorry if I did not clarify that before, y'all. But my primary YouTube channel, Just Me Sean, the one that's connected to all of my other socials, that one I had 1,350 subscribers. I currently have 7,000 subscribers. At the time that I did the second filming of the video, I actually misspoke in that video, and I said I had 1,500 subscribers. I had 2,500 subscribers. So I went from 1,350 to 2,500 within that time frame after the challenge. And then on Instagram, I had 5,000, and I now have 7,865. The thing about Instagram was that was one of the things that I learned that he said in there that I said wasn't really something that he mentioned, but he kind of mentioned it, and I took notes on everything, so I was able to pick that up and use it. So here are the things that I want to tell you are going to really transform the way that you think about your business, your creatorship, and really help you to get to this point of not only the growth, because I just shared you all the growth statistics. I'm not going to share how much money I was making and how much I am making, because that's just a personal boundary of mine. But I will share, and I will add this too. I'm just going to say this to people who are creators. Oh man, this is such a sidebar. Maybe I should, no, I'm going to say it now. If you are a creator and your creatorship does not revolve around helping people to grow monetarily, I don't think you should share your money. I think you should try to keep things as much the same as possible. A friend of mine and a girly that I know from the internet, she shared a video with me about a guy who is now making content full time, but before he was a 9-to-5 guy making content, and his audience, a lot of his audience has completely turned on him because of that level up lifestyle. And I think that the psychology of that has a lot to do with the fact that people can relate to you. And when they can relate to you, they feel really good about you. But the second they can't relate to you, it stirs up jealousy in a way that they can't explain. And so they start to slander you. So for me, I keep everything the same. My personal life outside of this app is my personal life. I try to not mix the two. And that is my personal boundary for a reason. And I just wanted to share that because I don't know if that applies to everybody, but I think that some people will be able to benefit significantly from what I said. I do not do flexi type things online. I try to share what I want to share and keep offline what I don't want to keep online. And I also share experiences from my perspective, but in a way that's going to help other people. So the reason I'm choosing not to share my actual money and all of these things is for, like I said, my own personal reasons, my own personal protection, my own personal boundary. But how much money I was making and how much money I'm now making doesn't matter as long as you have the system. So don't think I'm trying to be mean or gatekeep. That's just my personal boundary. So before the challenge, my only 2 offers that I had on my primary channel were my workbook, which is a book that I created. It's a hardback. It's a very cute, impactful book, but it was a book for wives who wanted to work through the similar aspects of wifey school, but maybe they couldn't afford it or they didn't have the time commitment. So I made that book available. I had a digital version of that where you can download it, and I had a physical version of it where you could actually have it mailed to you. The physical was very cute, had all these additives to it, and the other thing was the actual live challenge. So I had 3 products. I had a lower tier downloadable product, kind of like medium, and then I had my live challenge. None of them were ridiculously expensive because I couldn't really map out a way to put more value without making it ridiculously expensive. And I also had this limiting belief about myself that I'm going to explain in a minute. Post challenge, I now have a workbook, a written book, the downloadable workbook, the physical copy of that same workbook, a written book, like a book that you can read, nonfiction material. I have my live challenge, but my live challenge now has tiers, and then it also has a secondary offer when you finish that challenge. So that's the workbook, the written book, the physical book, the live challenge, the second part of the live challenge, the offer that comes after the live challenge. I have 2 additional courses. Those are just courses. I don't have to be there for that. And then I have a retainer product. So I now have 9 offers, whereas before I only had 3. And these 9 offers, of them, only 4 of them are things that I actually have to show up for, and it's really not even 4 of them. So of the 9 offers that I have, 5 of them are one and done, meaning I created them one time and I can continue to profit from them without any extra energy or effort. It does take some time to get to this point, and you will have to figure those things out for your particular brand and what you're doing, but I'm just going to keep going because I think that this is beneficial. So when I say they're one and done, I mean this: the workbook, the written book, the book that you can read, the courses, the retainer, and even the one of the tiers of wifey school. Well, I'm not going to count that. Those things that I just named, I created them one time, and I just have to make them available for sale, and people buy them, and it just flows. I don't have to do anything. For the challenge with the tiers and the offer, those 3 things I have to physically show up for. So once a month, during the time that I choose that I want to conduct those things, we meet and that happens. So very, very cool how I was able to do that. And I was very thankful of the opportunity to be able to do that. Okay, so let's get into the things that I think will help you. This is the first and the most important, and it's kind of in 2 parts, so just bear with me. You have to figure out, if you're looking at it from a concept of how to productize yourself and how to make a certain amount of money, you have to look at it in a way that is scalable. And I think most of us are not doing that. So I wasn't looking big picture because I just wasn't. I was just creating products. And I was giving prices based on what I thought people could afford, not necessarily what I thought the value of the product was. And I say that as a person that was charging $30 for a 30-day challenge where I was giving my time and energy every week to meet with people, that I was selling myself completely short. And if you don't think I was selling myself completely short, you probably have a value issue as well. So, and this was something that my mentor actually had to tell me the same thing. So I was able to take what Myron told me and then hear it in real life and kind of like shift my perspective, like, okay, yeah, you really do need to charge a little bit more because this is a valuable experience, and you're so busy trying to appease everyone and be affordable to everyone, but everybody's not your customer. And I will tell y'all why that's important too, because earlier on when I was charging less, I was getting more volume, so I was getting more people, but I was also dealing with a headache of attracting people who didn't really want to do the work. And that's a headache because you can't force people into something. You can only give them the information. And I find that when I charged more, I don't know why this happens, but it does. I was getting more quality people, more people who were accountable, more people who were ready to do the work, more people who were ready to admit, like, yeah, I need to clean that up. You're right. Okay, they were more accountable, more responsible for their actions. And I think that if you can get yourself over the hump of not charging so little for the things that you have that are of value, it will do you a lot of good. So this is something that he taught us about how to, he said, consistently and perpetually earn $1 million. You can adjust this to whatever you want, but I'm going to give the example that he gave because the numbers are very easy to work with, and I will put them on the screen in the editing of this video. So let's say you have an offer that makes $20 profit. You sell 50,000 of those, you will have $1 million. So the first thing you can consider is, what can I sell for $20 50,000 times to make $1 million? Don't think about, wow, these numbers are astronomical. That does not matter because it seems out of reach until it doesn't. I'm going to tell y'all, when I did not have as many followers as I have now, and when I was not just showing up, I would have struggled with, how is this possible? It is possible because I have done all of these things in less than a year that have transformed my life. And I don't know how else to tell you except to say you just have to show up. People ask me all the time about joining TikTok Creator Rewards program. They're like, I don't have enough followers. I don't know what to do. I only have 50 followers. What you do to maximize in the Creator Rewards program is the same thing you have to do before you join it. You have to show up. You have to make content that is going to convert. You have to make content that's appealing to people. You actually have to have a level of consistency and understanding and a desire to learn about the people that you want to serve. A lot of this is going to be service-based. So don't say, wow, how am I going to find 50,000 people to sell to? That doesn't matter. Just listen to the format and start creating the content and start doing something now. Because the second you tell yourself, well, that's too much, you're not going to try and it's not going to matter. So don't worry about that. That stuff will come. It will make sense. Let me be the one to tell you there's people that will buy from you. Okay. All right. So let's say with this, it's you write a book, right? You write a book, you get that book self-published for $20. That's how much you sell it for. You sell 50,000 of those. Now, one of the things that he said in the middle of this lesson was, imagine writing a book and getting on the right podcast. That's leverage. So for instance, let's say one of my favorite podcasters calls me and he's like, hey, I've been seeing your content. I really want to get you on my show. And I go to his show and we talk and we have this amazing conversation, and that video happens to go viral. All the people that watch that video and like me, some of them are going to come and join my community, right? Some of them are going to come and join my community and buy my book, because on his podcast, I'm obviously going to talk about my book. So they're going to come, find me, purchase my book. That's how it can happen. But it can also be, again, if you have a limiting mindset, let's say you're like, I'm not going to get on the podcast. You will get them. I get several invitations to be on podcasts. I just decline them because I'm not in a space to want to go sit on somebody else's podcast right now while I'm still kind of working out the kinks of my own audience. But it will come, and those types of things were presented in front of me before I even had a really big following, because what you have to realize is people see your value before your numbers match your value. People can see that you're the type of person that would have 1 million followers before you have 1 million followers, because they see your content. And if your content is that good without having an audience, you will be able to see these opportunities. Even if you have a smaller audience, but people share your content, even if you have a smaller audience, but one video goes viral and you're talking about the right thing, you will be able to convert those into sales. So don't worry so much about that, as you need to understand the process. Okay. So again, that can look like finding people on Instagram. I'm not even going to go into all the ways that can look like, but I'm just trying to make it realistic for you. But that can look like anything. You can promote your book organically. You can promote your book with paid ads if you want to. But let's just say the product is a book. The product can be anything, but let's say it's a book. Keeping in mind, when it's a physical product, you also have to account for like how much these things are going to cost you. But when it's digital services, it's pretty much all profit once you take out like your website maintenance and stuff. And I'm going to break this entire process down just a little bit more in the second part of this. Or you can have a $200 program and sell 5,000 of them. So let's say you have a book for 50,000, but then you make that book an audio program and you sell the audio program of that book for $200. You sell it to 5,000 people. So instead of selling 50,000 copies of something for $20, you now have a $200 something that you can sell to 5,000 people. That's going to get you $1 million. Or you have a $2,000 course and you sell that to 500 people. Now, the funny part is when you start breaking this down, if you sell a $2,000 course twice a day for 5 days a week, that's $1 million for the year, approximately. Or you can have a $20,000 product. This is probably what he says is going to be like a mastermind. So if you're in the space where you're teaching people how to make money, I think this is a lot easier. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's a lot easier to sell something like that because people see they're investing money and they're going to get money back. You have to be really good at what you do when you're outside of that space, but it's still not impossible. Like, I know I don't teach people how to make money. On this channel, that's kind of what I do, but I don't sell anything on this channel, right? So that's not, like, I don't even have products in my business for that. Well, actually I do. Side note, doing all of this, TikTok reached out to me and they want me to coach people in their mentorship program. So I do now have a product that I can offer. I'm going to put the link to that in the description of this video. But I'm going to be teaching people how to make money as a TikTok shop affiliate. So I do have a product like that, but y'all have never heard me promote that on here. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my primary channel, my primary topics. I don't teach people how to make money. I teach wives and moms. So I'm not selling something that, that's going to get them money. So I have to think about this a little bit more creatively. I did want to make that caveat. So you can sell a $20,000 something to 50 people. And if you do that, you got to sell one of those a week to meet your quota, right? Or you can sell a $200,000 something and you just need to sell 5 of those and that's going to get you $1 million. So that's the first like basic money math aspect. This part that I'm going to explain to you is going to break it down even more. I would definitely take out pen and paper. I give this information because I'm gonna tell you something. In his Make More Offers challenge, there were a few things that I learned in that challenge that I had definitely seen before in his teachings on his YouTube. I'm not about to do the homework of finding these videos. Y'all are gonna have to do that yourself. But he has talked about this on a public platform, and that is why I'm also sharing this. But that doesn't mean, like, the Make More Offers challenge is valuable. I'm going to do it again eventually before the end of this year. So anyway, this is how you can make $1 million a year. Okay. So the first thing that he talks about is having $20,000 a month. How do you get to $20,000 a month? Well, you need to have 100 leads per month first, right? And if you don't have that, you're gonna have to just, like I said, this is a thing where you have to start doing it so that you can get these things. You either have to be making content, producing something, videos, marketing, like using ads. You have to have people coming in to buy things from you in order for you to sell things. So you got to figure that part out, right? But you take that 100 leads per month and you increase it. You want to double your conversion. And once you get that to 200 leads per month, you are in the door to earn $20,000 a month. And the way that he does this is, if you have 200 leads per month, leads being people who opted into something. Maybe you have a free ebook, a free webinar, a class, a mailing list, a newsletter, whatever. You have 200 people that are opted into your system and they want to hear from you. They want to learn from you. They want you to sell them things. But you want to get 200 per month, right? Now, this is what he says is going to increase your conversion. I did this. He is absolutely right. He says that you're going to talk about the payoff and help them to buy what they already wanted to buy. The secret sauce that he said in this is stop talking to people about their pleasure and talk to them about their pain. When you first meet them, your first encounter with people through your content, through your videos, instead of getting them to the point where you're helping them with, hey, I'm going to help you to earn $1 million. Hey, I'm going to help you to have a healthier, happier marriage. Take them away from their pain, not to their pleasure, although they're both going in the same direction. If I'm in pain, pleasure is over there. If you're taking me away from my pain, we're still going over there. But what he explained was, if you have someone, let's say I'm in a mall and you're just shopping, and I'm like, hey, do you want this $20? This is a story. This is a derivative of a story that he shared. Hey, do you want this $20? Do you want this $20? That's pleasurable. Who doesn't want a free $20? Most people aren't going to take it though, because they're going to think, if I get close to her and she gives me $20, maybe she's going to steal my wallet or she's going to take something from me. People are skeptical, right? But if you were walking through the mall and you slipped and then you bumped your head and your hair started bleeding, nobody else was around you, and I helped you to your feet, and I said, oh my gosh, here, I have a bandage. Here, let me wipe your head. Oh, it's pretty bad. Give me your phone so I can call 911. And you give me your phone and the phone is locked. And I say, hey, put your code in. You're going to put the code in because I am helping you. I'm taking you out of your pain. I just helped you to stop the bleeding. And now you're under the impression that I'm now going to also help you to get medical assistance, right? So in both of those cases, I was trying to do something to help you. But if I'm coming off as the person that's trying to sell you pleasure, you're less likely to believe me. But if I come off as the person that's trying to help you out of your pain, it's better. So what does that look like, and what did I do? I took the very same lead magnet. My lead magnet was Wifey Challenge. That's what it was called. And what Wifey Challenge was a calendar that you can download, and you do something every day of that calendar and you just cross it off like bingo. Well, I changed it from Wifey Challenge to Wifey Bingo. It was Wifey Bingo at the start of the Make More Offers challenge. You cross off something every day. The idea is to be more intentional and to show up in your marriage. I changed the title of that from Wifey Bingo to 7 Signs You're Headed for Divorce. Conversion. Well, first of all, my lead magnets increased. This step was to help you to increase your lead magnets. You can generate more leads if you stop taking people from their to their pleasure and you start taking them away from their pain to their pleasure. So that's how you increase your leads. So you have 200 leads per month, 10% of them is going to convert. So about 20 people every month is going to buy something from you based on that 200 lead magnet pool. Now, 10%, that means you get 20 sales, because 20 is 10% of 200, okay? If you get 20 sales times $1,000, that is $20,000 a month. Again, you can mix these numbers to be whatever you want them to be, but I'm just going to give you the system that he gave because the numbers are very straightforward. The second step you've already doubled your you've already doubled your lead magnet. Now you actually want to take it and double your conversion. Remember, I said the first step is getting your 200 leads and converting 10% of your leads so that you can have 20 sales of $1,000. If the numbers don't work, just, restructure it. I'm putting it all on the screen for you. The second step will be taking that 10% conversion and making it 20%. Now, what he talks about with doubling your conversion is to help them with what you already have. So help them to understand more what it is and sell it more to them. So that is through making better content and to also be more seamless in your selling. Something else he said was good selling is seamless and bad selling is painful. So me saying, hey, buy my challenge, come on, all of my content is like pictures of wifey school, testimonials, buy this, buy this, buy this. People are going to be very turned off. But if I can instead show you the value, which is what I do, most of the time my content is very direct. And I always say like you, because I understand even though it's multiple people watching my videos, they're not all sitting next to each other. It's one person on the other side of the phone scrolling, watching a video. So I always say you. And so the way that you convert more people, take it from 10 to 20% conversion, is going to be by helping them to see the payoff. So you increased your leads already by taking them away from their pain. Talk about the payoff in your content. And one of the things that I've been telling people in this side of things, like on the content creation side, is when you want to sell your product, don't talk about the product directly, seamlessly tie it into what you're going to be talking about. So like for instance, if I start a video and I say, your problem is you always want to have the last word. Every time your husband says something, you have to say something back. Every time he comes to you with an issue that he has, you pull out an issue that you have. You deflect, you do this. You're very controlling, you're very manipulative. And I can say all of these things, and then I might say, the problem is not just your communication. The problem is that you don't know how to be accountable for your actions. This is something that we talk about in wifey school. And in wifey school, it's on day 3 where we go through this, and this. And this is the point that we make. And sometimes the wives struggle with this. But one of the things that I really bring home for them is, and if you want to join wifey school, go ahead and join at the link in my bio. But then I'll completely finish talking about the point that I was making. But you see how I didn't just open the video and say, hey, wifey school starts next week, why don't you join? You don't want to do that. You want to tie it in and really teach people something, show people something, give people value before you actually even ask them if they want to opt into your program. And so that's how you increase your conversion. And that is going to take your conversion from 10 to 20%. It actually took mine a little bit higher than 20%. So now you have 200 leads per month, same amount of leads, but instead of 10% conversion, you're getting 20% conversion. And if you're getting 20% conversion, that means instead of 20 sales, you're getting 40 sales. Now you get 40 sales times 1,000, and there's your 40,000 per month, right? So instead of 20 sales for $1,000, you get 40 sales times $1,000, and there's your $40,000 per month. Now to go from 40,000 to the next step, which is going to be 80,000, what he does is tells you to add a premium offer. Remember when I said I had 2 offers in the beginning, and I had 3 offers in the beginning, but I added an offer to my wifey challenge. So what I did was I took wifey challenge, which was one price, and I made it 2 tiers. So now wifey challenge happens at the same time, but there's 2 experiences within it. So there's a lower price ticket and a higher price ticket, but then I also have my premium value offer that comes after that. So after wifey challenge, I make 1 additional offer to all of the participants. So now I have 1 tier in wifey challenge, another tier in wifey challenge, increasing my income without increasing energy output. And then I have a premium offer. The premium offer is going to be more expensive than both of those tiers. So same thing. So now we have $40,000 a month, and we're going to take that to 80,000. Your premium value offer is going to be, for the sake of this thing that we're doing, is going to be 10,000. Your premium value offer, is going to be something that 10% of people are going to buy. And these are people that are already connected to you. They've probably already taken your course, your class, your experience, something. So 10% of 40 people is 4. Okay, you're going to sell this premium value offer. Maybe it's $10,000. Doesn't matter what the number is. Again, it does not matter. Whatever it needs to be for you, just adjust it. But 10,000, and the way that he explained it was very straightforward, even numbers. So out of your 40 people right? And remember, it's 40 because you have 200 leads per month, but your conversion is what, 20%. So your 20% conversion gives you 40 people every month that are buying into your product. Out of that 40 people that have bought into your product, now 10% of that 40 is going to invest in your premium value offer. So 10% of 40 is 4. Your premium value offer is $10,000. So now you have 4 people paying you $10,000. So that's an additional $40,000. You're already making $40,000 every month from your 200 leads, your 20% conversion. Now your premium value offer every month, you're getting what, $40,000 on top. So you've already doubled again to $80,000. Now, again, this could be your premium value offer. Maybe it's only $1,000 and you sell 4 of them. And now you have an additional $4,000 per month. But you play with the numbers however you see fit, okay? So that is how we get to $80,000 a month. The step 4, I don't know if, did he say this in the other one? He did, yes. Step 4 is to add a continuity offer. He calls it a forced continuity offer. I did not have a continuity offer. I didn't even know what that was before taking the challenge. But again, it is something that helped me. And it doesn't have to be forced, but I think what he's trying to say is if you do a forced one that is already built into your program and they have to have it in order to continue with something else, that's the best way to just guarantee it. But it doesn't have to necessarily be forced. So keeping in mind, you have 40 new people coming into your audience every month. If those 40 new people are buying your offer, they're converting to the offer, and they also have this forced continuity with it, that is going to generate additional money. So let's say the forced continuity offer is $100. 40 people buying something for $100 gives you $48,000 because, hold on, because it breaks down to $4,000 per month. So it's $4,000 additional per month because you're getting 40 new people buying this offer along with the other offer every month. So that constitutes an additional $84,000 a year. And that is how he, $48,000 per year, sorry. So that is how he helps you to go from 10K a month all the way scaling up by increasing your leads, increasing your, doubling your conversion, adding a premium offer, and then having forced continuity. So those are the things that helped me to structure what I was doing. The last little piece that I said he dropped as a nugget, but I don't think a lot of people caught it. He said something when we went into the breakout room for the next offer that he had on at the end of the challenge. He had an offer where he could coach you through a boot camp. And one of the things that he said, and it was about social media, he said that a lot of people, and it's a program that they do within that boot camp, he said people don't realize that you have to do different things on social media. And when he said that, he explained how sometimes you try to take the same exact content and put it in different places and it doesn't work. It'll work over time, I think, but the reason it doesn't work is because people are on different platforms for different reasons. Instagram is not the same as TikTok, is not the same as YouTube, is not the same as Facebook, is not the same as Pinterest, whatever. It can go on and on and on, Twitter. And so when he said that, what I realized was, oh, Instagram is for the flex. Instagram is for the aesthetic. And so what I started doing that was different and what actually helped me, because there was a time when I wasn't really focused on Instagram. I'm still not really focused on it, but now I don't post as much on there. But when I do post, it's very impactful and I keep my feed very clean. So the nugget that you can take from this is it's fine to repurpose content, but do so effectively. What I learned in my experience is that TikTok is like a free-for-all. I treat TikTok like a digital diary. I put whatever I want on there. That is my personal brand. But then when I go over to YouTube, I make sure that those videos are not perfect at all, but the orientation is the way that it needs to be. I take more time on the title. I'm very well thought out with the descriptions, all the things. I try to be a little bit more seamless with the thumbnail. Like I put a lot of energy and effort into those things, whereas on TikTok, it's just whatever. And then on Instagram, I'll take the same videos and trim them down to the appropriate length, 3 minutes or less for a reel. I will make photo carousels. I will do text overlay. I will take more aesthetic pictures like fashion or whatever. And so if you look at my Instagram feed, it's really clean. If you look at my TikTok, it's not. It's all over the place, and that's okay. And so that's kind of, like I said, that's something that he mentioned in there. If you take that and you pay attention to your content and you look at the different apps and you try, I think you'll be able to figure that out and it'll help you to grow. Because I did get to a point where I was pretty stagnant on Instagram at one point. I did get to a point where I was kind of slowly going on YouTube, but now things are a little bit more taken off on those pages. And I've never struggled with TikTok, and it's because TikTok doesn't care about aesthetics, and I'm not very good at aesthetics anyway, or I'm not very intentional about aesthetics. So that is my result, my 3-month update. I will try to do like a 6-month or at the very least a year update this time around next year, just to give you more of an outlook. I really do think that that money structure that he gave was something that will help you so much, because some of us are just undercharging. And what he helped me to realize was I was definitely undercharging, and I didn't have enough offers to kind of match what it was that I wanted to put out and to serve as many people. So now I have more offers that don't cost me any more time or energy, but they're going to help me to hit my peak goals while still serving my community. So I hope that this video was helpful. I will clarify anything that is needed. And as always, I will put a link to Make More Offers Challenge as well in the description. But other than that, I will see y'all in the next video.